The Caitlin Clark injury situation is officially a mess because not only is there not more clarity, there's more confusion about what her timeline could be. And that's coming on the heels of it seeming to be pretty clear when Clark would return to the court, or about when she would return to the court. It was said on the ESPN broadcast on August 12th that Stephanie White hoped Clark would be back in practice this week. Open portion of practice, Clark is not seen. And Stephanie White afterwards said it's status quo until Clark is back at practice. Well, what changed? Right? I know there's never been a direct timeline, but all the signs seem to point in the direction of Clark returning soon. Even Natasha Howard saying, see you soon, CC. Now it's like, wait and see. And there's further information coming out that Clark suffered a bit of an ankle injury in the midst of her recovery process. Did that hinder her return? One reporter saying yes, another reporter is saying no. Bottom line is, we need to know a little bit more. We don't need Caitlin Clark's in-depth medical report, but it's fair for fans to wonder if the Fever and the league's biggest star is going to return to the floor this season, or what the chances are. And she's been out of action for 5 weeks, so it's not as if some patience hasn't been expressed. So those conflicting reports that I'm talking to you about, they come from Scott Agnes and Chloe Peterson. Look, anybody who saw this could have maybe thought something was up. Breanne January stepping on Caitlin Clark here. August 9th. Left ankle. That's where the bone bruise supposedly happened. On August 7th, which is what is being shared now. And, you know, some of these things you hear rumblings about, and you don't know exactly what's going on. But again, the biggest shift that I've felt is the thought process and optimism of Clark being back on the floor versus, well, let's wait and, I don't know, maybe, hope so. That's a shift in tone, delivery, messaging, all these things, tea leaf reading, however you want to put it. And then again, there is also, what was publicly shared by reporters now at this point in time and put into the universe to get people a little bit riled up and further the discussion in a sense. Because Scott Agnes has this on his timeline. Feel free to spend dollars how you like. I have a business to run, but you then cannot complain about new reporting and details. This is somebody who wasn't paying to access the article. But he does says, and yes, the injury has impacted her availability. While Chloe Peterson says, sources confirmed to me that Caitlin Clark suffered a very mild bone bruise in her left ankle on August 7th. Scott Agnes first. Source also stresses that this tweaked ankle does not affect her return timeline. Son's ankle injury, she would still be out rehabbing her groin. Don't buy that the ankle injury, if it hindered her at all, didn't affect her return timeline. I don't buy that to me because of, again, the shift in the tone that I felt and heard. And secondly, about the deliberate pace that they're trying to build Caitlin Clark back up to, right? The deliberate pace. And then all of a sudden, this happens when you're trying to rebuild her block by block, step by step, day to day. I mean, Caitlin Clark was listed as questionable the game for the Liberty after the MRI. So you do wonder, okay, what happened then? You don't want to put extra pressure on her, but the pressure is now being ramped up by the mystery. And, if it was day by day, protecting her, making sure you're rehabbing, making sure you're deliberate, making sure you're ramping her up, building her back up, anything that takes that off course is a setback, even if it's a very mild injury. I mean, part of the problem with Caitlin Clark's season is the myriad of injuries she's suffered. And this is what's been said about her lately. Stephanie White on Sunday regarding Caitlin Clark.
Do you anticipate she'll be back by the end of the regular season? Or?
I mean, that's the hope. The hope is that she's back.
That's the hope. The hope is that she's back. Then there's Stephanie White today about?
Need update regarding her.
No, I mean, until she can get into practice and until you guys see her in practice, we're really status quo, same as we have been.
So basically nothing offered from Stephanie White there. Then there was what Sophie Cunningham said on her podcast, more mystery around Caitlin Clark's injury return status.
Yeah.
It really does suck. But
Is Caitlin close? How's she coming along?
dude, I don't know. Everyone keeps asking, everyone's like, and I'm like, literally, she doesn't even know. Like, it's just like a day by day legit type of thing. And so yeah, she's close, but like you also have to remember, like, she could be playing if it wasn't in the WNBA by now, but like at this level, with how deep and like how good people are nowadays in our league, which is the best it's ever been, like you can't just be good. You have to be on top of your game. And so just trying to get her back in game shape, I think, is what they're trying to do. But like, again, it's literally a day by day. I'm not holding out any information. I just literally don't know.
Did you see Skip Bayless said that the WNBA is lying about her injury?
Dude, that's literally bullshit. Like, no one's lying. No one, that's not.
He said maybe Caitlin Clark has taken a couple of injury breaks just because she needed a mental break from all the jealousy and resentment and bullying and cheap shots.
Okay, here's the thing. When you're an elite level player, you not being able to play is the hardest part. Mentally, physically, emotionally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not playing. It's when you're playing is like when it's a part of it. Like you're built for that. So when people say stuff like that, I'm just like, just shut it, bud.
So look, Caitlin Clark is so massively popular and so much in the zeitgeist in the conversation that speculation is going to happen. And the biggest conspiracy theories will be like, oh, they're holding her out and stringing it along for ticket sales and ratings and all that. Now, I don't think anything nefarious is afoot or anything like that. But I do think the situation has gotten to the point of being odd. And once the situation is to the point of odd with a superstar like Clark, questions are going to be asked. Did she suffer a setback? Maybe not with this ankle thing. Can she actually get on the floor for the regular season? Are there enough practices left in the season for her to get on the floor? Is that still realistic? And it's not out of pocket. No one's asking for an in-depth medical report, but it's not out of pocket after 5 weeks out for fans, Fever fans, to wonder, okay, is she going to be back by the end of the regular season for the playoffs? And what's a realistic window? Where is she in the recovery process right now? Where is she right now? We see her on court doing work, but not in practice yet. She's going to be in practice tomorrow. Are you hoping to still get her in practice by the end of the week? And it gets to the point of feeling intentionally vague. Because I understand that the timeline being laid out at the beginning is no timeline. You don't want to put additional pressure on Clark. You want to make sure she's fully recovered because of the other injuries, not necessarily this specific one. But the clock is ticking. The tone has changed. And we still have no definitive update on the biggest star on the team and in the league. So I don't think it's too much to ask for the confusion around Caitlin Clark to be cleared up just a tad.